We want to evaluate the expression. Following the order of operations, the first step is to simplify within the parentheses, which means we begin by determining the differences in the parentheses. In order to add or subtract fractions, we need to obtain a common denominator, hopefully the least common denominator, which is the least common multiple of the denominators. So for 2/25 minus 8/75, the least common multiple of 25 and 75 is 75, and therefore 75 is the least common denominator. And therefore we need to write 2/25 as an equivalent fraction with the denominator of 75. And since 25 times 3 is 75, we multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. And now for 8/15 minus 2/45, the least common multiple of 15 and 45 is 45, and therefore 45 is the least common denominator, which means we need to write 8/15 as an equivalent fraction with the denominator of 45, and since 15 times 3 is 45, we multiply the numerator and denominator of 8/15 by 3. Notice for the first difference, we have a common denominator of 75, and for the second difference, we have a common denominator of 45. Notice 2/25 is equivalent to 6/75, giving us 6/75 minus 8/75. Then we have divided by, for the second difference, notice 8/15 is equivalent to 24/45, giving us 24/45 minus 2/45. Now we can go ahead and subtract. For 6/75 minus 8/75, the denominator remains 75, and the numerator is 6 minus 8, which is -2, giving us a difference of -2/75. And then we have divided by 24/45 minus 2/45. The denominator remains 45, and the numerator is 24 minus 2, which is 22. Notice neither fraction simplifies because the only common factor between the numerator and denominator is 1. And now we divide, but dividing by a fraction is equivalent to multiplying by the reciprocal, and therefore dividing by 22/45 is equivalent to multiplying by 45/22. So let's write the quotient as a product, which is -2/75 times the reciprocal of 22/45, which again is 45/22. To multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators and denominators. Multiplying in the numerator, we have -2 times 45. In the denominator, we have 75 times 22. Before we determine the products, though, we will now simplify out the common factors other than 1 between the numerator and denominator. Notice 2 and 22 share a common factor of 2. And since there's 1, 2, and 2, or because 2 divided by 2 is 1, the 2 simplifies to 1. And because there are 11 2's in 22, or because 22 divided by 2 is 11, the 22 simplifies to 11. But also notice how 45 and 75 share a common factor of 15. And since 45 divided by 15 is 3, or because there are 3 15's in 45, the 45 simplifies to 3. And because 75 divided by 15 is 5, or because there are 5 15's in 75, the 75 simplifies to 5. And now we go ahead and multiply. And we can't forget about the negative here. -1 times 3 is -3. In the denominator, we have 5 times 11, which is 55. The given expression simplifies to -3/55. I hope you found this helpful.